This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, what's going on?
Hey, John. It's just dealing with the apocalyptic conditions out here in sunny smoky California and
Yeah.
all. It's
Oh,
like
wow.
it's not the end of the world. It just looks like it.
Yeah, that's right. Just it has the appearance of it. That's not bad, I suppose. At least it's not the true end. So, what do you have on tap for us tonight?
Okay, tonight is I'm talking about one of my favorite writers, Kieron Gillen. It's like he's been just about knocked out of the park with like a lot of the series he's done, like for Marvel, be it his work on Uncanny X-Men, Young Avengers, Iron Man, Darth. It's like Darth Vader. It's like Star Wars, and also his creator own work, such as Phonogram, Wicked and Divine. It's like, and most recently, Once and Future. And even when he doesn't quite deliver something that is like truly great, like with say fantasy gaming series, Die. It still entertains. It still has like some entertainment like to be gleaned like in and of itself. I can respect the work that went into it, even if it's just not quite clicking with me just yet. But it's like he like all right with all writers, all creators, like they don't just like they don't emerge like fully formed. Like they're I tend to like have to like claw their way up, from working on like random stuff like at either Marvel or DC before they're given their shot at the it's like the brass ring. It's like, and in Guyland's case, well, he's got a lot of like assorted one shots and 2 or 3 issue miniseries. It's like in his back catalog that have been collected in scattershot form. It's like over the years, but it's kind of like. But with me, it's like I'm not going to buy something just because like Kieron Gillen wrote like 1 or 2 issues of this thing. Nope. Like for me, it's like I realized like it's just easier to go on to Comixology, run a search for Kieran Gillen in single issues, and pick out all the random stuff that it's like that he's written for Marvel, like from the beginning. And the very beginning was was New Universal, 1959. This is a prequel to the series written by series from Warren Ellis and Salvador LaRocca that reimagined Marvel's New Universe. It lasted like one volume and 2 extra issues before creative differences between I guess Ellis and Marvel just put an end to it. And it's like well, Ellis's reputation is in the toilet, charitably speaking, these days. He was responsible for getting Guylan like to write this one shot. Basically, he basically told Marvel, "Hey, I want this new guy to like have a crack at this." And so like we get the story with Kieron Gillen and artist Greg Scott talking about the early days of Project Spitfire, the government. It's like the government organization that's tasked with watching superheroes, and it starts off with the scene with Dr. Swan and Mr. Voight interviewing one Tony Stark and how he managed to come back from Vietnam after building his. It's like, no, was it Vietnam or was it? Yeah, Vietnam. It's like, and how he managed to come back from Vietnam after building himself a it's like an armored suit. Well, it's like there it's like it's all like standard for like Iron Man's origin, right up to the point where it's like where Dr. Swan shoots Stark in the back of the head because the U.S. government is not prepared to deal with these new superpowered characters. It's like these people they represent a threat to us. It's like and it's going to be our job to like figure out. It's going to be their job to figure out a way to it's like to deal with them. So this was a this is an interesting, almost nasty little piece of work as it's showing you just how as it's like all about getting into Doctor Swan's mindset and just how he can it's like how he can rationalize just killing these super these superheroes. It's like and why he thinks they represent the greater good, especially when it comes to the big it's like the big line crossing issue. It's like at the end of the volume that would like tend to paint him as it's like as the villain of this piece, but really it's like I think like the most successful thing is that that does paint him as someone who genuinely believes in what he's doing, even if it does cross like some pretty big moral lines. But as it is, I mean, it's a decent enough prequel that that does offer an explanation like to some of the new universal lore, such as it is, in a sense that it talks about how we got the Spitfire protocols came about for how we're supposed to deal with how the government is supposed to deal with the emergence of of superpowered individuals. It's, I mean, overall, it's a fine one shot, but it's not something that I probably would have like. I feel like I should have read like years years when it first came out years ago. It's like because because I mean it's good enough, but it's not. I don't know. It's like it doesn't lacks like real imagination or real snap that would make this like a true hidden gem. Um, let's see. So moving randomly it's like on the list. It's like well we've also got Revolutionary War, Dark Angel. It's like this is one of Marvel's like random events that they put together. It's like to spotlight certain characters. And in this case, Revolutionary War is all about spotlighting Marvel UK characters. And Dark Angel, it's like she was a character whose dad was big in this this like evil magical cabal known as Mistech. It's like and she it's like and she rebelled against him because she like even though because her dad was big into genocide and whatnot, and it's like and that didn't sit well with her. So picks up with the character. It's like in the modern day, having after the one shot that basically had from what I can understand, Captain Britain coming to her house to recruit her, but then running into a death's head and blowing a hole in her wall as they got the hell out of there. She like when she finally comes to, she sees that like she's trying to figure out what's going on, but oh, she's got to go to her morning job, which is basically bleeding out Mephisto for his sins. Okay, and then then it comes back to her trying to figure out just like is Miss Tech coming back? Spoilers, it is, and oh, it turns out that one of these guys have also gone and made one of her one of her father's it's like techno creations, the it's like the Psycho Pirate or what is it? Psycho Wraith. It's like Psycho Wraith Prime. It's like made it into a like an actual thing, and now it's coming to kill her. There's Gillen apparently wants is trying to tell a story about how the previous generation is saddled with the debt, saddled like working through the debts of the previous generation, like in very literal fashion here. And there are some fun touches here, like from the from the demons that were put into robot bodies, and they thought they were going to be able to like wreak havoc across the land, but turns out that this happened just as the Mistech got shut down for the first time, and they've just been rotting. It's like in these bodies ever since. And now they just want to die. And then there's Dark Angels, like very it's like very English, like fortune telling friend who's like is who's got a very blithe and like stiff upper lip take on a lot of the craziness that she finds herself in. It's it's admirable that he's trying to like tell like a self-contained story. It's like in the space of this like crossover, but overall, it's just like there's just too much going on in here for it to really work. It's like it's like I can appreciate like the effort, but it just doesn't quite work. So this is one of his efforts that in this in this recap that you can probably safely skip. Um, Another one that falls solidly in the fine category and also features Mephisto is the Mystic Hands of Doctor Strange. This is a random one shot that was released. Probably won't surprise you to learn that it was released in 2016. Around the time or just before the Doctor Strange movie came out. It's got Gillen working with artist Fraser Irving. It's like in a story called The Cure, which which basically has has Strange lamenting like the state of the world and how it's like just and how he wishes he could be doing more to help it as the Sorcerer Supreme. And then he witnesses a it's like a rich man just suddenly get out of his car. It's like give away all of his money and his it's like and his fancy clothes to the people around him, and like all Strange is initially touched by this, but by this display of like apparent selflessness. When he gets home, he finds that Clea has put on has put on like a oh what is it some stocking over her face, and it's loading a gun, and is about to go out and rob a bank, like in order to help disrupt the system. This is when he realizes that maybe this like display of altruism isn't what it appears to be. This is what leads him to a it's like to a sanitarium to to pass himself off as insane by describing the current origin of of the Marvel universe and his place within it. It's like and to find out that someone has apparently been damning souls in order to get the power he needs in order to make the world right again. And well, Strange realizes that okay, well, what am I gonna have to do? It's like in order like what is the right course of action here? I mean, this guy does seem to have like want to make the world a better place, but he's going about it in the it's like it's like in a way that's just not right. So well, I probably don't have to tell you what Strange ultimately decides on as the answer to that thing there, that question. But there is a it's like as is the case with like Strange stories that it's like it's you can't really have like a like have him like just like out magic the other guy. No, when Mephisto was involved, there's got to be some like cleverness, like a inventive reading of the contracts, or just how their terms are meant to be interpreted, and that's what we get here. So it's fine and all, and even though and like the art for Fraser Irving is nice, and it's also in black and white. All the stories here are, and well, you know, and much as I like Fraser Irving's like work in general, I have to admit that I think that his work is probably better suited for cover color in the sense that it does a better job of bringing out the inherent spookiness of his of his style. Oddly, black and white just doesn't seem to do it as much for me. But the story this collection also features shorts from Peter Milligan and Frank Brunner, Ted McKeever, and Mike Carey and Marcos Martin. And they're all right, but it's like I wouldn't say it like, but I mean it's a good, I guess it's a decent value for like for your money. It's like considering that this cost me like what I think like $2 or $3. So there you go. I mean it's all right, but nothing that makes you go wow, that was so great. I'm glad I finally got the chance to read this. Um, but just as that's that one that one off was produced for the Doctor Strange movie. I'm pretty sure that this one, Captain America and Batroc the Leaper, one shot was done in advance of like Batroc's appearance in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And if you're one going, well, wait a second, I don't remember Batroc the Leaper showing up in The Winter Soldier. We all would have known if Batroc had shown up. Well, yeah, he did show up. If you remember the guy that Captain America goes hand to hand with, it's like on the ship deck at the beginning of the film. That was Georges Batroc. That was Batroc the Leaper, but he's just like divested of all of his insufferable stereotypic Frenchness. It's like and his over the top costume as well. So there you go. But as far as the one shot goes, well, Gillen does a good job of squaring Batroc's like showmanship and his like overbearing Frenchness. It's like in this one off with art by Renato Arlem. Um, he portrays Batroc's personality is just more of a kind of an like it's more of an act, just something that it's kind of like his it's like how he carries himself when he goes to work, and that was and that's kind of actually and that's actually kind of like kind of fun for the most part because it it gives the character a bit like some needed depth as you see him, like working the angles. It's like after he's recruited to fight Captain America. Now he doesn't know this, but he's not told this specifically, but he just knows it from the amount of money that he's offered. And then we see him preparing for this battle by going by going through running over the French rooftops to secure his route, and also mouthing off to some of the mercs that he's been hired to protect, because they're like, oh man, why'd we hire like fucking Batroc, man? It's like, and well, he gives them a pretty good rundown in the sense that, hey, no, I have not won against Captain America, but I have fought him, and I've lived to talk about it. It's like, and that's basically what you're hiring me for. You are hiring me to fight him and to be a diversion. And that's, and without giving away too much, it's all about how Batroc just like kind of lives to fight Captain America, in the sense that like this is how he proves, proves his worth. Just realizing that hey, this is he's like the best. Like Captain America is like the best, there is. And if I can just fight him to a draw, it's like then that's actually a win for me. It's a nice take on the character, that I wasn't expecting. It's like, and so it was, this was overall pretty fun. And it's also got a backup story featuring a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby story, Captain America story featuring Batroc. But overall, definitely not bad for what it was. It's like worth buying on its own terms, maybe. But then you've got it's like much more goofier stuff with World War Hulks, Spider-Man versus Thor. This is a tie into the Hulked Out Heroes event, where, and this is back during the Jeff Loeb Hulk era, when apparently like a whole bunch of heroes got hulked out into like Hulk versions of themselves. And this is about the story time that Thor and Spider-Man were on their way to infiltrate some floating fortress over Washington D.C. They get hulked out, and then it leads them to it's fight off some mercs who've been hulked out as well. It's like there's lots of hulking out here, and on one hand it is like aggressively dumb, but aggressively dumb in ways that I can appreciate, in the sense that you've got Spider-Man as a dumb Hulk version of himself, wanting to go visit the Smithsonian, since they're right there in DC, and Thor just being angry at Spider-Man for just not wanting to help him fight off these these hulked out Marines. And the present day scenes where they're just talking about how yammering on about each other. It's like, well, Thor hitting Spider-Man, say Thor strongest. And Spider-Man goes, Thor smells strongest. It's gleefully, all of their interactions are gleefully dumb like that. But they also feature flashback scenes where Spider-Man remembers the first time he went to the Smithsonian with with mixed results, as he managed to even get bullied there at a gathering of nerds. And Thor remembers the time that he that his dad ordered him to bring Loki along, in one of their plays against play, what am I saying, when they're playing war with some of the other Asgardians. And Thor is not really happy with how Loki really has no interest in doing this at all. So in amongst the dumbness, there's some nice character work be done with these two. And it results in a series that in this a two-parter that's kind of, that's overall kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It balances dumbness in one hand with earned sentimentality in the other, and the art from Jorge Molina, who illustrates most of like this two-parter, is pretty nice as well. It leans towards his more animated cartoony leanings, and it's side that I'd like to see him like invest in more. It's like in his work. Oh, and also these two issues also contain like a backup from Chris Eliopoulos, it's like and Patrick Scherberger. Basically, it show us like Holthock versions of Iceman and like Coloss and Cyclops working out their it's like their own issues. So specifically, how Colossus regards Iceman as kind of like a no good cut up, and Iceman regards Cyclops as just kind of like a overly strict stick in the mud. It's like it's kind of fun, but it's also kind of like the main story like in shorter miniature. So that's cool. But speaking of the X-Men, well, it's like Gillen has like a long sense of history with them as well, and he even contributed to their to the run of X-Men Origins, it's like one shots that Marvel was doing for a while. It's like about a decade ago. And he went up with the plum. It's like with getting one of the juicier ones in the sense that he gets to retell Sabretooth's origin. So it starts off with him. It's like with Sabretooth, like getting angry at his brother for not sharing the pie during his birthday, and then he winds up just like like fighting his brother and just biting him in the neck, and this causes his parents to like chain him to the basement because hey, like kid's crazy, and he's also got these devil teeth that keep growing back no matter how many times his dad pulls them out. And while Creed's mother she's like she talks about how like how your dad's so scary. I mean, this is awful, but I just can't go against him. And in probably one of like the best like moments like for it's the best Sabretooth moments I've read, to be honest. Like when like Creed basically tells her, it's like, no, don't be scared of dad. Be scared of me. That sends her right out. And well, probably don't need to tell you that like Creed eventually finds his way out there. And what he does to his parents, you can probably guess. But from there, it's basically we get to see him meeting up with Wolverine for the first time. They're falling out after like Creed kills Sabretooth on sorry, Creed kills Silver Fox on it's like on it's like on Logan's birthday. That's basically sets them at odds for it's like for most of their run. It's like even after they've been mind up a couple times by by the Team X program. Yeah, in fact, it's like there's a it does seem like even with these mind wipes, it's like Creed's desire to just torment like Logan on his birthday, which is one of their like defining traits of these two guys. It's like they it's like it keeps it keeps coming out or like over the years, and it also like pairs up well against the general idea, like the general defining it's like idea behind these two guys, and that like Sabretooth is the feral murderer who like embraces like his worst impulses, and Logan, it's not that he doesn't have these impulses, but he's the guy who's determined to be better than them. That's why they're never like going to see eye to eye, where they're always going to be it's like going to be like antagonistic towards each other. And I think Gillen and artist Dan Panosian do a good job of fleshing this out. It's something it took me like a reread to really appreciate how they did that. But the other problem is that with this, I mean, the big one is that if you've read Guyland's Origin 2, it's like his follow up to like Wolverine's Origin series from Paul Jenkins and Andy Kubert. Well, you might recall that the whole like Sabretooth Wolverine blood feud started when it's like when Wolverine sorry when Logan killed Creed's brother. And well, it's like looking at that, well, that's not what happened. What that's not what happens here, and it feels odd for this like for it's like for Gillen to like, make like this like big continuity error like with stories that he wrote himself. It's like so it's weird. So even though it's very distracting, but overall the story is quite good. And that brings us to the most substantial run of stories on this list. The one that actually like has a collected edition that I didn't realize it's like it really existed until like I was like searching for this and I realized, hey, it's like it's not just like one shot. It's like a whole volume of stuff. It's a volume of stories about Beta Ray Bill, the like the horse-headed alien, the Corbinite, who became Thor's oath brother after he proved himself to be worthy of Mjolnir. It's like in his first appearance during the Walt Simonson run. So this collection basically involve collects like two different stories. One is a one shot that was given like the Secret Invasion Aftermath branding because it involves um, Bill meeting up, getting involved with some scrolls who who are on the run after being broken with like they're basically like holy warrior. These scrolls are originally holy warriors fighting in the name of their god, only to realize that this god didn't have their best interests at heart. So they decided, okay, it's like we're leaving, and we realize that yeah, it's like this Beta Ray Bill guy. It's like he is a he is a god who is it's like it's like who with he's a god without a people, and we are people without a god. This seems like a good a good match we can make together. Well, it's like it it's like and that's an interesting point, but the problem is that Bill was tortured by this by the scroll, so he's not really inclined to help them out until the other holy warriors, the ones that remain faithful to the scroll, to the scroll gods, come looking for them, and they bring some of their their own super scroll Asgardian it's like an Asgardian super scroll that they created through gathering some DNA from certain members of Thor's uh like Thor's friends. And well, let's just say that it's a combination that basically involves a pun that Guylan was no doubt deeply amused by, and but it does make for an inspired antagonist for the story. Overall, it's not bad. It's like I mean, it's like it tells us a little bit more about about Bill, and hopes and it does maybe move like move the needle with his relationship with scrolls in a different direction, which is nice. But the main story, which this volume takes takes its name from, is God Hunter, and it's a three-issue story that basically has Bill looking to exact some vengeance on the being that killed almost his entire people. It makes it left him in the last surviving Corbinite in the galaxy. So who is the being that did this? None other than Galactus. So Bill is looking to exact some payback on on the Devourer, and well, he's not dumb enough to just try and hey, I'm gonna go and find this weapon to like kill Galactus. No. Bill's idea is to just destroy the planets that Galactus wants to feed on before he can feed. Basically, he's just going to try and starve Galactus to death. And so that's a it's a nice setup for a story right there. It's like it also has Bill resorting to some underhanded means in order to in order to get people at there are some races most of the planets like that in this story that Galactus is trying to feed on are just empty, or the people have fled from them. But for those that haven't, well, Bill's he's looking at the whole like the ends justify the means here. But the problem is that when he's been granted his own hammer by Odin, Stormbreaker. Well, he's been a worthy guy. But what happens when but is ends justifies the means approach? Like, is that really worthy? So so it's a nice story. It's like, and I think if you like Beta Ray Bill, it's like then you'll appreciate this here. And Gillen does come up with some interesting ideas behind one of the alien races that Bill butts heads with like over the course of this volume. So overall, it's like it's fun. It's like it's nice. I mean, all of these stories that I've read, they've been like, I mean, they're good. They're good. Like fine to good, really. But I was kind of my hope here was that I was that this is like I was going to get like lots of good stuff that I would argue like, hey, this should be put in a volume of like Kieron Gillen's Marvel-ous Miscellany, and because I love the guy's writing so much, and I figured like, hey, it's like a whole volume of this of his work. It's like that should be that like I would definitely pay to read that. But barring that, I can just go out and buy these from Comixology. But reading these, I mean, it's like it's a reminder that even though that even your favorite writer can't hit everything out of the park every single time, and that it's like there are times when like that it's like all writers still kind of have to work work the way up in the grand Marvel fashion. So in the sense that sometimes they just can't they have to prove their worth. It's like with with stories like these to show that, hey, you're worthy of something better. And fortunately for us, like Marvel was happy enough with what Gillen did with these stories that they gave him his shots on on these on series like Uncanny X-Men and Iron Man and Young Avengers. So yeah, it's like these stories were worth it in that regard. And but overall, it's like I think I don't think that that any of these stories represents essential missing hidden gems like for for fans of the creator. It's kind of like if you're completist who will read anything that he does, then yeah, it's like you'll get some enjoyment out of this. But everyone else, I don't know. I don't think that the general public is missing out too much if they've not read any of these one shots or miniseries. Still, it was nice to be able to just pluck them from from Comixology. It's like and not have to pay it's pay for the volumes that they were a part of. So that was nice. And so yeah, overall it's one these issues and me series are more for the completist Kieron Gillen than I guess the casual fan of the writer. So there you go. And so John, I guess any thoughts on your end about any of these?
Now, really one. When were most of these written? I mean, that's kind of what I was curious about.
Yeah, it's like
You
without
mentioned one at least one time frame. The Jeff Loeb Hulk kind of.
yeah, it's like without having to dive in specifically to look back in specifically to when all of these are published. I think most of these came out between I'd say 2010 to 2016.
All right, cool. So, I would like to ask you what you were going to cover next time, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, because I'm still waiting on that final volume of East of West, and if it does arrive in time for the next podcast, then I will be very surprised. I'll be very pleased too. But chances are it's probably not. The good news is, I did get my hands on something that definitely warrants further talking about, and that is the latest volume of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' Criminal, subtitled. Well, it's not given a proper volume number for this series, but it's basically volume 8. But it's basically Cruel Summer, the big storyline that dominated their most recent run of It's like of Criminal, and I'll be talking about that as well as just like looking at all the stories that influenced it over the course of the series' 7-volume run to this point.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll all be surprised, depending on what comes in your mailbox. And we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, laters.